You are welcome on today's episode. Today, I want to talk about a virtuous woman. Who or what qualifies a virtuous woman? The phrase virtuous woman is one of the most celebrated and deeply admired concepts in the Bible and in human society. It stands as a standard of moral excellence, spiritual maturity, wisdom, and noble character. A virtuous woman is not defined merely by outward appearance or status, but by the inner beauty that radiates through her actions, speech, and heart. The Bible, especially in Proverbs 31 to 10:31, provides the clearest and most comprehensive description of who a virtuous woman is. It says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." This shows that she is rare, valuable, and exceptional in her ways. To truly understand who qualifies as a virtuous woman, one must look beyond culture, fashion, or temporary trends and focus on the unchanging principles that define true virtue. This essay explores the qualities, character, conduct, and faith that make a woman virtuous. It also examines how a virtuous woman impacts her family, community, and generation. 1. The meaning of virtue. The word virtue originates from the Latin word virtus, meaning moral, excellence, strength, and worth. In Hebrew, the word used in Proverbs 31 is chayil, which means strength, power, wealth, and valor. Therefore, a virtuous woman is not weak or passive. She is a strong, capable, and wise woman who uses her abilities to serve God, her family, and society. Virtue is the inner strength that guides right actions. It is the ability to choose righteousness even when it is inconvenient. In a world where moral standards are often compromised, a virtuous woman stands out because of her commitment to goodness, honesty, faith, and love. She is not defined by what she possesses but by who she is within. 2. The biblical foundation of a virtuous woman. The foundation of a virtuous woman's character is found in Proverbs 31 minutes and 10 seconds 31. This passage describes her as a woman of noble character, industrious spirit, compassion, and fear of God. Let's consider a few verses that reveal her essence. Proverbs 31 to 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Gives she is rare and priceless. Her worth is not measured in material terms. Proverbs 31 to 11. The heart of her husband safely trusts in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Gives she is trustworthy and faithful. Proverbs 31 to 17. She girds her loins with strength, and strengthens her arms. Gives she is strong, hardworking, and diligent. Proverbs 31 to 20. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. Gives she is kind and compassionate. Proverbs 31 to 30. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Gives her true virtue is rooted in the fear of God, not in outward beauty. From these verses, we see that the virtuous woman is a woman of purpose, wisdom, discipline, and devotion to God. Her inner beauty and faith reflect in every aspect of her life. 3. Spiritual qualities of a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman's first qualification is her relationship with God. Her virtue flows from her spirituality. Without the fear of God, it is impossible to sustain moral excellence. She recognizes God as her guide, source of wisdom and strength. She fears the Lord. The Bible declares, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." Proverbs 9:10. The fear of God does not mean terror but reverence, a deep respect and love for God that shapes her behavior. It makes her humble, prayerful, and obedient to God's word. She knows her beauty, talents, and possessions are gifts meant to glorify God, not herself. B. She lives by faith. A virtuous woman trusts in God's plan even when life is uncertain. She walks by faith and not by sight. Her faith becomes her foundation during trials, and her confidence in God influences her family and those around her. C. She is prayerful. She understands the power of prayer. A virtuous woman commits her home, work, and future to God through prayer. Like Hannah in 1 Samuel 1, she prays earnestly and waits patiently for God's answers. Her spiritual strength is built in the secret place of communion with God. 4. Moral and emotional qualities. Integrity and honesty. A virtuous woman lives with integrity. Her words match her actions. She does not deceive, gossip, or manipulate. Her honesty builds trust in her relationships. People can depend on her because she is consistent and truthful. B. Humility. Despite her abilities, she remains humble. She does not boast or look down on others. She knows that pride destroys but humility lifts. Her humility makes her approachable, teachable, and wise. C. Emotional stability. A virtuous woman is emotionally mature. She controls her temper, manages stress with wisdom, and responds to challenges calmly. She does not allow anger, jealousy, or bitterness to dominate her. Instead, she practices forgiveness, peace, and self-control. 5. Her relationship with her family. A virtuous woman is a blessing to her household. Her influence begins at home, where her love, care, and wisdom shine the brightest. As a wife, she is faithful, loyal, and respectful to her husband. She supports his vision and stands as his companion, not his competitor. Her husband trusts her completely because she brings peace and order to their home. Proverbs 31:12 says, "She does him good and not evil, all the days of her life." She builds her home with patience and prayer, not with quarrels and complaints. B. As a mother, a virtuous woman nurtures her children with love and godly discipline. She teaches them moral values, guides them in faith, and sets a positive example. Like the mother of Timothy in Timothy 1:5, her sincere faith influences her children. She knows that her greatest legacy is not in wealth but in raising children who love and serve God. C. As a homemaker, she is industrious and organized. She manages her time wisely and ensures her household runs smoothly. She balances family, work, and personal growth with grace. Proverbs 31:27 says, "She looks well to the ways of her household, and eats not the bread of idleness. She is not lazy or careless. She takes responsibility seriously." 6. Her relationship with others. A virtuous woman's goodness extends beyond her home. She is a positive influence in her community. Compassionate and generous. She reaches out to the poor, the lonely, and the needy. Her kindness is genuine, and she gives without expecting anything in return. Her heart of compassion reflects the love of Christ. B. Respectful and peaceful. She respects others, regardless of their background or status. She avoids gossip, conflict, and unnecessary drama. Instead, she promotes peace, unity, and understanding among people. C. A role model. Her conduct inspires others. Young women admire her discipline and integrity. Older women respect her wisdom. She becomes a living example of grace and godliness in action. 7. Her work ethic and diligence. A virtuous woman is not lazy or dependent. She is hardworking, creative, and productive. Proverbs 31 portrays her as an entrepreneur, trader, and homemaker. She works willingly with her hands, invests wisely, and provides for her family. She may not hold a corporate position, but she approaches every task from managing her home to running a business with excellence. Her diligence brings prosperity, respect, and stability to her household. She plans ahead. She is not careless with time or resources. She thinks strategically, plans ahead, and avoids waste. She prepares her household for future needs and emergencies. B. She uses her talents. A virtuous woman identifies her gifts and uses them productively. Whether in business, education, ministry, or art, she works passionately and responsibly. Her skills glorify God and improve the lives of others. C. She values hard work. She does not look for shortcuts or depend on others to do everything for her. Her strength is seen in her willingness to work, to rise early, and to meet her goals with determination. 8. The beauty of character over outward appearance. The world today celebrates outward beauty, fashion, and trends, often neglecting inner character. But a virtuous woman knows that true beauty is of the heart. Proverbs 31:30 reminds us a charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Physical beauty may fade, but character endures. A virtuous woman maintains cleanliness, modesty, and elegance. But her greatest beauty lies in her kindness, faith, humility, and wisdom. She radiates joy, peace, and love that come from within. 9. Her wisdom and discretion. Wisdom is one of the most visible traits of a virtuous woman. She speaks with wisdom and acts with understanding. Proverbs 31-26 says, "She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness." A wise speech. She knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Her words heal, uplift, and instruct, not destroy. She avoids gossip and uses her voice for encouragement and truth. B. Sound judgment. A virtuous woman makes sound decisions based on prayer, knowledge, and discernment. She does not act out of emotion or impulse. Her judgment brings success and peace. C. Continuous learning. She values knowledge and self-improvement. She reads, learns, and seeks understanding. Her wisdom grows through experience, reflection, and godly counsel. 10. The reward of a virtuous woman. The Bible makes it clear that the virtuous woman is rewarded. Proverbs 31-28-31 says, "Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Her life produces fruit that speaks for her, peace in her home, love in her marriage, respect in her community, and honor from her children. She may not always be recognized publicly, but heaven celebrates her every day. Her reward comes from God, who blesses her faithfulness, humility, and obedience." 11. Modern example of a virtuous woman. In today's world, being a virtuous woman doesn't mean living in the past. It means applying timeless principles to modern challenges. A virtuous woman can be a doctor, teacher, entrepreneur, leader, or homemaker. What matters is her heart, her values, integrity, and devotion to God. She balances career and family with prayer and discipline. She maintains her moral purity in a world of temptation. She uses technology wisely, dresses decently, speaks truthfully, and treats others with respect. Her life becomes a light in a dark world. 12. How to become a virtuous woman. Becoming a virtuous woman is a continuous journey, not an instant achievement. It requires daily growth in character, faith, and love. 1. Develop a relationship with God. Spend time in prayer and the Word. 2. Practice honesty and humility. Be truthful and modest in all things. 3. Be diligent and responsible. Work hard and manage your time wisely. 4. Cultivate kindness. Show compassion to others. 5. Guard your speech. Speak words that build, not destroy. 6. Walk in wisdom. Make decisions guided by God's Spirit. 7. Be content and thankful. Avoid envy and focus on your blessings. 8. Live in purity. Keep your thoughts, body, and spirit clean before God. 9. Respect yourself and others. Value dignity over popularity. 10. Serve joyfully. Use your gifts to glorify God and help others. Conclusion. A virtuous woman is more than just a wife or mother. She is a light in her generation, a vessel of wisdom, and a reflection of God's glory. She embodies strength, purity, humility, and love. Her beauty comes not from gold or garments but from her godly character. She fears the Lord, walks in wisdom, and blesses everyone around her. In today's changing world, the call for virtuous women remains urgent. Society needs women who will stand for truth, righteousness, and faith. The virtuous woman is rare, but her value is timeless. She is the kind of woman the world needs, the kind heaven celebrates, and the kind God rewards. Indeed, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Proverbs 31-29.